Welcome to today's Explainer. We absolutely all know the feeling. You wake up with a scratchy throat, or I don't know, maybe you tweak your ankle on a morning run, and instantly this huge wave of dread just washes right over you. But here's the thing, usually that dread isn't even really about the physical pain. It's the logistics, it's all that friction of navigating the healthcare system. You start wondering, where do I even go? Am I going to be able to get an appointment? How much of my entire day is this going to completely ruin? Well, today we are diving into a clinic that is completely flipping that old narrative on its head. We're looking at Mederi Urgent Care in West LA, and we're going to break down how they've engineered this brilliant concept that we're basically calling frictionless healthcare. It's a total reimagining of how to remove the usual super annoying barriers between you and just feeling better.
And this really represents a massive paradigm shift. Just ask yourself, what if healthcare actually fit your schedule? I really want you to think about that for a second. Imagine you're a UCLA student staring down a brutal week of midterms, or maybe you're a busy professional out in Century City with back-to-back-to-back meetings. Your life is fast-paced. Traditionally, getting sick means you have to just slam the brakes on your entire life, adjust to some clinic's super limited availability, and pretty much write off half your day. But the Mederi model is built on a totally different premise. It's actually designed to accommodate your life rather than interrupting it. So as we go through this, keep that core question in mind because it's literally the driving philosophy behind every single operational decision this clinic makes. Let's look at a quick comparison here. The typical West LA visit versus the Mederi visit. Now, if you live or work anywhere on the West Side, you know the typical pain all too well. It usually involves circling some massive concrete structure looking for parking, which is always expensive and scarce, then sitting in a packed waiting room for, over an hour? And then if you happen to need blood work or an x-ray, they just hand you a little slip of paper and tell you to drive to a completely different facility. It is exhausting. But contrast that with the Mederi visit. First of all, and this is huge, free complimentary parking right by the clinic entrance. In West LA, that alone is a total game changer. Add in fast care and crucially on-site diagnostics, it's basically a complete 180 from that traditional headache-inducing medical errand we're all used to. Of course, a big part of making this stuff accessible is simply geography. They are strategically planted right in the heart of the West Side Healthcare Hub at 1131 West Olympic Boulevard. Now, for anybody familiar with LA traffic, which is everyone, right? You know that being sandwiched conveniently between the 405 and the 10 is an absolutely huge deal. It means whether you're a family up in Brentwood, a student coming from Westwood, or commuting from a corporate office in Century City, this clinic is perfectly positioned. It's super visible, incredibly easy to get to, and it drastically cuts down on that agonizing transit time that usually just deters people from going to urgent care in the first place. But hey, geography is really only half the battle. The real friction, that's time. And here is a data point that literally jumped right off the page during our research. Less than 9 minutes. That is their average wait time to actually see a healthcare professional. Think about that for a second. 9 minutes. You barely even have time to sit down and pull out your phone to scroll social media before they're calling you back. In an industry with a national average wait time at ERs and regular clinics can easily stretch into hours, Mederi has managed to streamline their intake so incredibly well that the waiting room is practically just a hallway you walk through on your way to getting treated. It really shows a profound respect for the patient's time. But obviously, a 9-minute wait time doesn't do you any good if the doors are locked, right? So let's talk availability. They are open daily from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. That's 12 solid hours of continuous availability 7 days a week. And yes, that includes weekends and evenings. Because let's be real, illnesses and minor injuries do not care about standard 9 to 5 business hours. You might tweak your knee playing soccer on a Sunday afternoon, or suddenly realize your kid has a fever at 7:30 on a Tuesday night. By keeping these extended hours, they're letting patients simply walk in or book a same-day appointment online exactly when the need happens, not just when it happens to be convenient for the clinic. Okay, so you get in the door super fast, but what can they actually treat? Well, they offer a really surprisingly broad range of comprehensive on-site services. This definitely isn't just a place that takes your temperature and tells you to go rest. They handle the whole spectrum from rapid COVID testing and painful ear infections to minor injuries like sprains, cuts, and burns. But they also go beyond that with modern wellness services. We're talking IV hydration therapy for rapid recovery and even physician-supervised medical weight loss programs. Plus, they have a full-service lab right there on site. They've essentially taken the core capabilities of a small hospital and packed them into a highly streamlined, patient-focused clinic. This whole setup takes the usual patient journey and distills it into 4 totally seamless steps. Step 1, you walk in or just book a same-day appointment. Super flexible. Step 2, you're seeing a board-certified physician or care provider in under 9 minutes. Step 3, and again, this is a massive operational win, you get your digital x-rays and comprehensive lab testing done right there during the exact same visit. That means a much faster diagnosis and 0 secondary appointments. Which brings us perfectly to step 4. You go home and recover. The entire hassle of driving somewhere else, waiting in another line, and nervously waiting days for results completely eliminated. It's just a beautiful, closed loop of efficient care.
Now, a totally natural question you might have right now is, okay, if it's really this fast and efficient, doesn't that mean it feels super rushed or impersonal? To answer that, we just have to look at the patient reviews. Here's one from Rodrigo M., who said, "Nice, professional, and quick. Both the staff and Dr. Nordland went above and beyond, making a bad situation better." Actually love that phrasing, making a bad situation better. It's solid proof that having operational efficiency doesn't automatically mean sacrificing compassionate, personalized care. Mederi specifically states their appointments are unrushed. They use all that upfront efficiency just to get you into the room quickly, so the doctor can actually spend quality time listening to you.
And this level of efficiency builds some serious community trust. Take a look at this metric. 93% of patients would recommend Mederi to their family and friends. In the healthcare world, that is a massive number. People are fiercely protective of their family's health, right? You absolutely do not recommend a doctor or clinic to your loved ones unless you have total, complete confidence in the care they're going to get. So this number is incredibly powerful social proof. It proves that this whole patient-centered, frictionless approach isn't just some slick marketing claim on a website. It is genuinely resonating with real people in the community. And if you need a little more statistical validation to back that up, well, the numbers are right there. They boast an incredible 4.9 out of 5 average rating, and that's drawn from a sample size of over 2,000 five-star reviews. When you're looking at data like that, the law of large numbers really takes over. I mean, sure, a high rating from 20 people could just be a fluke, but a near-perfect rating from over 2,000 verified reviews, that indicates a system that is consistently firing on all cylinders. It reinforces their reputation for exceptional service across the board, from the front desk staff checking you in to the medical professionals mapping out your treatment. That kind of consistency is exactly what you want in healthcare. Zooming out for a second, while we've obviously been focusing pretty heavily on the West LA hub today to really illustrate this model, this is not just some isolated one-off experiment. Mederi Urgent Care actually has 4 LA locations: West LA, Hollywood, Glendale, and Los Feliz. What this means is that this exact same standard of modern, highly rated, frictionless care is available across a bunch of different neighborhoods. They're really establishing a solid footprint in Southern California. So whether you are hanging out on the west side or heading east towards Glendale, reliable medical support is never going to be far away. Which brings us right to our final takeaway. We started this explainer by looking at the typical friction of getting medical care. The terrible parking, the agonizing waits, bouncing around between scattered facilities. Mederi Urgent Care West LA has systematically removed all of those excuses. They've built this completely different environment with the free parking, the walk-in availability, sub-9-minute wait times, and all those on-site diagnostics. So I want to leave you with a bit of a provocative thought. If the absolute logistical nightmares of healthcare can be completely engineered away like this, is this frictionless approach destined to become the new standard for clinics literally everywhere? Definitely something to think about. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and we will catch you on the next one.